All right, here's where we're going to start today's show. It's a big day, really, for all NFL fans because this is the day that we can plan the rest of our year, our calendar year. Which week can we take off in the fall? When are the Browns going to be home? When are they going to be on the road? It is the release of the NFL schedule. That happens tonight on the NFL Network at 8 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, by the way, we'll find out our first game of the season. So that will be, I think all the teams are allowed to announce that at 6 o'clock. I love the way the NFL does this. They just dribble drabs of information so they stay in the news cycle.
They know what they're doing.
It's really, really
the
well
NFL
done.
draft is bigger. The NFL schedule release is bigger than the NBA playoffs.
That's
yes.
false.
Which are still going
yes,
on.
it is.
No.
Let's see what gets better viewing tonight.
This is a 2-hour event on live TV. The NBA playoffs go on for
eternally.
2 months.
Eternally.
And if you add up all the views, it's 100 million viewers.
Yeah, that's one. I'm just saying tonight. I wonder what gets more views.
We can check that out.
Yeah.
On tomorrow's show, we'll give the ratings when we get them, or we might have to wait till Monday.
But now the NFL's turned this into a whole week. It's a whole week.
Yeah, that was my
slow
point.
release. It's amazing.
Yeah,
they can monetize anything.
PR geniuses.
Yeah.
So let's put up on the screen what we already know, because we know that the Browns this year are going to only have 8 home games to 9 road. Here's the home games they get. Obviously, the 3 in the division. You get Steelers, Bengals, and Ravens. We'll get to see coming to Cleveland the Saints, the Jets, the Buccaneers. Tom Brady will be here, the Patriots, as well as the Chargers. Now we'll show you the games that they have on the road. And again, we know the 3 divisional opponents are all going to be road games as well. That's the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Steelers. Also, we'll be going to Miami this year, to Washington, to Carolina, Buffalo, Houston. That could be real interesting. And the Falcons. Guys, here's our start-off question today. If you could make the schedule, what's your dream matchup for Week 1?
Guys, I like starting off, and I think I'm in the minority opinion here, but I love starting off against a good opponent. And the opponent that I want to see them play is I was about to say San Diego, but it's the Los Angeles Chargers. Because I want a good opponent, but I want a good opponent that's got a little bit of a disadvantage that they have to travel West Coast to East Coast. Even though it's first week, it's not as big a deal, but I like that. I like the challenge of facing Justin Herbert in Week 1. Their great running game with Austin Eckler. Their really good wide receiving core. I want to play a really good team. I want an early test. Now, the one caveat is I'm hoping that Deshaun Watson's going to play Week 1.
Sure.
I'd probably change my mind if I knew for sure he wasn't playing, and then maybe I'd want all the weak opponents in the beginning. But I'm going to go with the premise and be hopeful that Deshaun Watson's going to play the whole season, which may not be true, but I'm going to go with that premise. And if that's the case, I want the Chargers coming to Cleveland for Week 1.
All right, we'll give all of our dream Week 1 opponents, and then we'll kind of just discuss it round table. Mike, who do you want to see the Browns open with?
See, I can't take that same approach because I have to assume that he's not going to be playing in Week 1 right now because I don't know any better. If I knew any better, so that's how I've got to go at it. Knowing that, I've got to go Pittsburgh. I want to take them while they're weak, when they're trying to figure stuff out. Week 1, you know what they can do when they have time to adjust. They have an excellent system. I could see them finding their groove by the middle of the season and becoming a team somehow, despite what they're looking like on their roster right now. And I love the idea of playing them at home because I think we're going to be a disaster and they're going to be a disaster, and just throw all that chaos together and we might come out lucky. Now, I think unfortunately, I don't think it's likely that Pittsburgh's going to play. I think they're going to have to play at home this year because they haven't had a home game in their first game since 2014, and they're pretty upset about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they're probably going to throw them a bone there, but that's who I would love to see.
Poor Steelers. They've been treated so roughly by the league.
I know, those poor sons of guns.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how they get by.
But I want them Week 1.
Okay. What do you got, G?
Man, listen, can I see that graphic real quick again?
Which
right
one?
Fast, the one with all the teams.
The home or the road?
Give me the home joints. Give me the home joints.
Okay.
Cue that up for your boy. I don't know what the heck y'all talking about, man. Y'all coming out here with competent people and give me the Steelers. No.
You want the Jets then,
right? Thank you. Yeah. Get on right back on. He want the Chargers. I want no parts of neither one of them. Give me the New York Football Jets, Week 1. Deshaun Watson, I'm going to assume that you're going to be able to play. And then what we'll do, we'll just work on our game plan. I want to start the season off 1-0. I want to start off feeling good about myself. I want to start off beating the brakes off somebody and looking real good getting to Week 2. The last thing we need. Now, when is the last time the Browns won an opening game?
I think Eisenhower was in the White House.
Right. Listen.
It's literally, guys, it's ridiculous how many openers they've lost.
Guys, we need to snap out of this loser mentality.
Hey,
and the loser mentality is let's have an easy game. If you have a good coach and you have a good team and you have a good quarterback, go kick a good team's ass in week 1. That's what I'm sick of this. We're always we got to play a bad team. We don't. First of all, everybody thought the Bengals were going to suck last year. They went to the Super Bowl. You never know. What if Zach Wilson has a big year 2 step up like Joe Burrow did? I agree they'll probably won't be good, but you never know for sure.
Guess what,
Let's
boy?
go. Justin Herbert, take him on.
In school.
Deshaun Watson's as good as any quarterback,
I don't know if he's going to be there.
In elementary school, they don't start off with proficiency tests the first day.
That's the best point we've heard so far. Ease into it.
Ease right in. They teach you how to go to gym. You line up for lunch.
Not everybody can ease into it.
You get to learn how. Listen, let's learn to tie your shoes today. By the end of the year, we'll get to proficiency tests of whether or not you pass.
This schedule's tough. There's tough games the whole schedule. You'll have plenty of tough games to get to later.
Yes.
Let's get the tough test right. If you're as good as you think you're going to be, the Browns are going to get a lot of hype this year. If Watson plays the whole season. I know what Mike said, and I get what he's saying, and in the end, he'd probably be right. But who knows? If they, as we've talked about, if they decide to wait till this all hashes itself out, then it might not happen this year, especially because, as you said, Jay, the other day, the league might say, you know what? They set up their contract so Watson doesn't lose a lot of money. We're going to suspend him next year and have this hangover his head. If that happens, then let's go. Let's be ready to go week 1. The Browns are never ready to go week 1. They need to be.
But we don't know if that's going to happen. What we should have established before we said this was we have 2 opening game options. If Deshaun Watson is actually on the field and if he's not, because it changes everything.
It does change everything. But I like where you're going with JETS, Jets.
Give me the Jets. Even if he is suspended, I still want the Jets.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If he's suspended, I'll go with the Jets.
See, it changes.
So
it does.
Mikey McNuggets, you just got my ear and gave me a great stat, but I think you should give this to the audience because I mean I kind of guessed that this would have been true, but it's when you hear it, it's stunning. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Browns haven't won an opening season game since 2004. Joe Thomas lost 16 in a row during his career.
Come on, bro. You got to start off 1-0. I need that 1-0. I need that.
Wait, Joe Thomas didn't play 16
No,
years.
he didn't play 16 years.
He played
Since
11.
2004 was the last time the Browns
Okay, so it's
won an
been.
opening game.
I got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So it's been 16 years, but Joe lost all
He
11
never
of his
won a
seasons.
Joe never
They
won
had
the
a
first
tie.
game.
They had a tie
That's not
against
a win.
the Steelers.
That's not a win.
They did have a tie.
And that's why he's in the hall. That's why he's going into the hall. That
Okay,
tie.
yeah, because he put up with that and
Yeah.
did, and like you said yesterday, he
should've
signed
won
up
that
for
game.
staying here.
Yeah.
And they've
I
gotten
think-
crushed in a lot of these week 1 games, too.
brutal.
And,
Sets
and,
the
and
tone.
guys, I'm going to take your approach,
I like that,
but I am going to change things up a little bit. Can we see the graphic for the road games? Because I want to start on the road.
Okay.
This year, so every year, teams are either going to have 9 at home
Right.
or 8 at home, and then it will alternate in years. This year, we have 9 road games. So as I look at that, I'm trying to figure out what's the most winnable road game there. And I'm going to circle the Carolina Panthers. That, in my view, is the most winnable road game. And my dream scenario, though, I've done a lot of thinking on this, guys.
I believe it.
I've thought too much about it.
Yeah.
In my dream scenario, Baker Mayfield starts for the Carolina Panthers. The Browns go to Carolina. Watson's on the field, and we drop 50 on them.
That's a lot of chess pieces
win.
that have to fall into place.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, if
I'm
that's
laying this whole thing out, Mike.
if that's the case, we're good for 3 pick sixes against Baker. So yeah, it'll probably
listen,
happen.
so-
but I'd rather play Carolina midseason because McCaffrey will be hurt by
Yeah,
then.
but
That's a good
yeah,
point.
you're right. He may not be healthy by week 1.
Yeah.
Here's why I say, and Bull, I get what you want to come out of the gate strong in week 1 against a good team. That sets the tone. However, if you come out of this happened to the Browns last year. If you come out of the gate in week 1 and you play a great team as they did, and you play a pretty good game, and you come up a little short, it takes a lot of wind out of your sails.
Yep.
Give me a win over a crappy team on the road. Because when you win road games here, that's real schedule equity. If you can win road games in the NFL, it's almost like 2 wins because you're not supposed to win that.
I think
So
good
if you-
teams can get over that quickly. I
Look,
think that's the problem.
Your scenario is good if they win. But I would rather beat a crap team on the road in week 1 than lose to a good team at home and say that, well, there's consolation points here because we were close. So I'm also going to ask you guys, and look at the schedule too, because we're going to pivot from that to your nightmare week 1 scenario, and I'll start and we'll work away our way back. So here's my nightmare matchup for week 1. Mikey, can we put the road games back up, please? Here's my nightmare scenario for week 1. The Browns are at the Carolina Panthers. And I'll tell you why that can be a nightmare scenario.
I get it, yeah.
Because what if Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers in week 1, and Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback for the Browns in week 1, and we go there and get it handed to us? There is no worse way this team can start the season.
Twitter will explode.
It will break the internet.
Elon Musk will be like, it's exploding. I don't know what to do.
I actually think the worst road team is Houston. I think they're worse than
They
Carolina.
probably are. I just went with Carolina.
But I like that.
I'm going with the Baker
thing.
you know?
To me, guys, the nightmare scenario is playing at Buffalo week 1. Oof. Now, I want a tough game week 1, but I don't want to play the toughest game.
Like we did last year. We had
Right.
to go to
The
Kansas City.
toughest game on their schedule, at least on paper right now, is at Buffalo.
No argument.
I don't want to play that game week 1.
I don't want Cincinnati just because I think that could go poorly, and I think that could really set a tone, and I think that they're for real, and I don't need to be reminded of that. I know we owned them technically last year, although the second game obviously wasn't a real game.
Yeah.
No, but just use the one game that
The
we
one
did
game,
own them was
but
at their place, and they weren't in it.
with Baker Mayfield playing, and it's a totally different scene now. And I like to remember that we're 2-0, and I don't need to be reminded.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield against the Bengals is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
He's undefeated.
He is.
He's a monster. Obviously, the worst game of the year is if you start on the road at Baltimore. That is, I'm going to tell you right now, on the road at Baltimore with Lamar Jackson running around, J.K. Dobbins is back, the offensive line, they had a great draft, and Lamar Jackson is in a contract year.
He's mad he's not paid yet.
He's mad. He ain't got no money yet. You're tired.
Wait.
September is hot as hell.
Gee, that's his choice.
Well,
He hasn't showed up at the table to negotiate.
Well,
and he's being crazy not having an agent. That's nuts to me.
I think you're right.
Maybe he's not blown away by the offers yet.
He knows what the neighborhood is, and he's telling them wrong zip code.
Yeah.
He knows. They've had some dialogue.
Right.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that is, and this is off topic briefly, has Lamar Jackson lost his fastball a little bit? Like last year, he wasn't Lamar Jackson.
Hard to get a read.
And what Miami sort of gave the other teams the blueprint for how you. Now, not everybody can play cover zero. I get that.
Yeah.
But he looked human to me last year, and that was the first time I thought he looked human.
If I'm not giving Baker a pass for injury, then I'm not giving Lamar a pass for injury either, and I don't give passes for injuries. You're on the field, you got to play well. We've said that a million times.
Yep, I'll give you
Lamar
that.
Jackson has not been as good since his MVP season. He hasn't.
I
Even
agree
in
with
2020,
that's my point.
2020, he was good, not great. 2019, he was phenomenal.
Has the league caught up to what he does?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But he needs to be better. His game needs to improve. His passing has improved, but his decision making still needs work.
They didn't
How
have
old
a
is
big
he?
drop off, by the way, when
He's
Huntley
young.
came in last year. It's not like you saw this huge drop off in their offensive performance.
No, but they lost a lot of games.
Well, they did,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, it's like when you looked at the
I
numbers.
think the Ravens are
afterwards-
overrated. And this is going to be part of my final thoughts. So I don't want to go too deep into it. But I think we are so beaten down as Browns fans that we assume everything the Steelers and Ravens do is gold. And that's just not true.
Well, because usually it is.
Neither of this idea that the Ravens had this brilliant draft.
They
They
had a
haven't
draft.
played a single game yet.
They got a good draft.
I've been told too many. This guy's a great draft pick. Let's see him play. The Ravens' defense is not very good, and neither is the Steelers.
No, the Ravens' defense can be had, but I do think that most, and you're right, we
Yeah.
don't know what a draft class looks like until we see them
Right.
on the field in real games.
How-
but I think most experts agree the Ravens killed the draft.
But the experts have been wrong plenty of times. Yeah.
However, we got to look
Yeah.
at it. The AFC North is really good. They've been good for a long time.
Of course, I just think the Ravens are a little overrated.
Okay, that's fine. I will say the reason Lamar Jackson has lost a step, think about how many carries he's had since Louisville. Think about how many he has running
They had
back
no backfield
carries.
Well, I
last year.
think
Running
and
back
you're-
carries.
So the point you just touched on is why I believe the Ravens aren't willing to. First of all, the Ravens are really upset with what the Browns did.
Yes, they are.
Really
Some
upset.
kind of that's like a silver lining.
Yeah.
It is a silver lining. So we got under
Yeah.
your skin. So that's a win too. But what they did is change the paradigm for how quarterbacks are paid
Yeah.
in the NFL and who's going to be the first big guy to try to test this system.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
Right.
And so they're not prepared to write that big
Right.
check yet because of what you just said.
But somebody will.
And this was the question that everybody
Yeah.
had on
Carries.
Lamar Jackson after his breakout NFL season. is that sustainable?
Right.
Like, how do you duplicate that over 12 years?
I do think Lamar is very smart when he slides. He doesn't take a lot of big hits.
He doesn't take direct hits. He's
RG3 used to take big hits all the time early in his career. He was obviously Lamar's a little more put together than RG3 was.
Mikey wants to get in. What do you have,
I
Mikey?
think Lamar will last, but he needs to bounce back this year. He did not have a good season last year.
Hey, real quick, in the last 5 minutes, the Twitter account that's been leaking the schedules has put out what it believes is the Week 1 game for the Browns.
It is?
But that accounts.
Carolina.
I don't think that account is legit, is it?
Well, I'll tell you. So there are a lot of accounts that have leaked games in the past, but the NFL, and I don't know that they would push back if this account was wrong.
Right.
But I think the NFL is running that account.
Actually, I'm with Conspiracy
This is
Jay
some
here.
I like that.
To the NFL.
No, I mean, I
get it.
Which one is
It's
this?
breadcrumbs, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Build that excitement.
Listen, I think they leaked that shortly after I said that would be the best game for the Browns.
Well, they're obviously monitoring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I know, Roger. I know you're watching.
quality
I know you're a big
control purposes,
fan.
right?
But yeah, I do. That's my conspiracy theory for the day. Is I think that the NFL is. I'm not saying they're actually running that account.
Has that site been proven correct in the past?
Well, we don't know because this is the first year that we've had so many leaks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll know. Like at 8:00 tonight, we'll be able to cross-reference this site and what they have been telling us. But there's been no pushback from the league, and like I said, I don't know that they would push back even if these games were not right.
And I just don't think Baker is going to end up on Carolina unless the Browns ate almost the whole contract.
I'm not sure that
Sam
either. but
Darnold's making
it
a
made
lot of
for-
money.
It made for fun
It
conversation.
would, yeah, no doubt.
Did everybody do their nightmare pick? I kind of lost
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We nailed it.
All right, there we go. Yep, job well done.
We all nailed
well
it.
done, guys. Put that in your notes about tomorrow's
will.
show.